We're staged for another run of nitro-fueled NHRA talk. It's The Straight Line, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts, with Marty Hough and 10-time NHRA winner Doug Herbert. Brought to you by Hercules Tires. Now, here are your hosts, Doug and Marty.
This is The Straight Line on Drag Racing. Thanks for stopping by our half hour of horsepower. Appreciate you being with us. Funny car points leader heading into Indy. Ron Capps will be here. And the second fastest competitor in Top Fuel history, good buddy Clay Millican, checks in as well. We're in the beams and set to launch another edition of The Straight Line. Wherever you may be, coast to coast, around the world, this is The Straight Line on Drag Racing at MRN.com, along with four-time IHRA Top Fuel champion, 10-time NHRA National Event winner, Doug Herbert. I am Marty Hough, coming off a wild weekend at Brainerd. And you may be thinking, well, duh, Marty, it's Brainerd. Of course it was wild. Well, it was wild on the track as well as back in the zoo. I don't even know where to start. Crucial wins, national records. We saw it all this weekend.
Yeah, some unbelievable runs. Team Force with Top Speed and Top Fuel with Brittany, and then Low ET and Top Speed and Funny Car with Robert Height, along with a national record. Yeah. Pretty incredible performances. We've seen that before at Brainerd. It gets cool. The air comes in. Brainerd actually used to be one of those tracks where they factored the national records there. Like they gave you extra ET and speed at Brainerd for national record. That was only 20 years ago. Well, now obviously they don't need to do that anymore because Brainerd does just fine. The cars are running. They're running really well. We're going to talk later in the show to Clay Millican and Ron Capps. Clay Millican with maybe one of the best running cars of the event. To be honest, he had Low ET first round, Low ET second round, and was on his way to a win in the semis against Leah Pritchett when something let go on his car. So we'll talk to him about that.
Yep, and also a crucial win in Funny Car for Alexis DeJoria. Well-timed because she was in that mix and still is for the countdown to the championship. But getting a win at Brainerd really has helped her cause.
It didn't lock her. It didn't lock Alexis and the Patron team into the shootout. They put them in a whole lot better position than they were in. And I think it was just a crucial win. You know, they've had a little bit of a tough year. I don't know what necessarily the issues have been over there on that Team Coletta Alexis DeJoria team, but she missed some races at the beginning of the year due to some personal issues of some sort or another. So we're glad to see her back. I'm glad to see her win. I think that's good for obviously her. It's good for the Coletta team. It's good for drag racing to have them excited about being out there and racing and winning.
Yeah, no question about it. And especially when I think the Coletta team as a whole, Top Fuel, Funny Car, really have had a tough season this year, and to get one of those wins and kind of get that and get the wind in their sails, especially going into Indy, has got to be really good for them.
Well, that's true. On the Top Fuel side, I've seen Doug Coletta has had top speed of several races, and even maybe Low ET at a couple races too, but they just haven't been able to put those wins together. It's not for lack of ability. It's not for lack of anything. I mean, obviously, here just a couple years ago, Del Worsham won the championship in a Coletta Funny Car. So I don't know what it is that they're missing, but whatever it is, it came together for Alexis DeJoria and the Team Coletta to get in the winner's circle this past weekend at Brainerd. That was great.
Yeah, and a big congratulations to the Pro Stock winners as well. Tanner Gray, I should say, his fourth of the year. You probably should go ahead and just rubber stamp the Rookie of the Year, the Road to the Future Award to Tanner Gray. 4 wins for a rookie is absolutely phenomenal. And for Jerry Savoie, he kind of keeps getting better as the year goes on. His teammate, Ellie Tonglet, has been really good all season long, and it looks now like Jerry Savoie has really kind of figured things out, and it's going to be really tough to catch the Suzukis during the countdown.
Well, Jerry, the old Gator farmer, has a number one on his motorcycle for a reason.
There's that.
And, he's got the electronic fuel injection figured out. They attributed a lot of their success over the past couple of years to that, maybe being some of the first guys to get that ironed out a little bit. I don't know. Whatever it is, they seem to have it figured out. They've got those Vance and Hine power engines in the Suzuki, so I still think that's funny, right? Vance and Hines is the Harley-Davidson factory team. They're also the Suzuki engine supplier for all the Suzuki, or I don't know,
for a lot of them,
most of the Suzuki racers, anyways. Pretty neat to see them out there doing so well. I think the Pro Stock motorcycle bunch is it's a good class right now.
Yeah,
They're
it
very
really is.
they're very comparable. Nobody is running away with the show. The Buells can win, the Suzuki's can win, obviously the Harleys can win. It's I think it's pretty neat. The motorcycles are fun for me as a fan. I like to watch the motorcycles run. They're fun to watch run. You see they're wrestling those bikes down the track. There's some personality with them. Unlike
There
Pro
are
Stock car.
some.
I hate to be a bummer, but they're you watch them run and it's like, oh my gosh, let's go watch paint dry.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, I'm a fan of Pro Stock cars. Don't get me wrong, but they're not that exciting to watch. You have to be a fan of Pro Stock cars to get into it. And the personalities, and in the old days we had Lee Shepard and Bob Glidden and the Professor and all this, and those guys, unfortunately they're gone now. But there is some new legendary guys.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Obviously, I must not be the only one that thinks that, because NHRA is changing the things around for them to try and get some of that luster back. I don't know if they're going to be able to. Hopefully so. Yeah,
and we're still waiting for that announcement. But at some point, we're waiting for an announcement that there'll be a reduction in races for the Pro Stock class in 2018. How many that is, we're not quite sure, but
how about the Top Fuel and the Funny Car, though? We got the girls group this weekend with Leah Pritchett winning in Top Fuel and really running, number one qualifier, running very, very well. And then Alexis winning in the Funny Car category. The girls wiped them out this weekend.
Yeah.
Brittany Force with Top Speed in Top Fuel. So Loie T to Leah, Top Speed to Brittany, winner in Funny Car Alexis. Like, oh my gosh, these girls are whipping us.
And that's never a bad thing, because it's really good for the sport. Anytime the girls win, whether it's Leah Pritchett or whether it's Alexis DeJoria.
And I'm poking a little bit of fun. You can't call those girls. They're tough competitors.
Yeah, right.
They are very tough competitors. So we're lucky that NHRA Drag Racing actually has women that are racing that are tough enough competitors to win. I'm not necessarily a huge Danica Patrick fan, but hey, I'd love to see Danica Patrick win if she was capable of winning. I don't know. I don't know if she is. I think it'd be good for the sport of NASCAR if she could win.
Yeah, it brings eyeballs to the sport. What happens is when you see one of those girls win, Erica Enders, obviously, over the last couple of years, was really big on that.
Angel on the motorcycles. Shirley Muldowney all started from there, really. Give credit where it's due.
Yeah, no question. You see a big boost in social media out there, and just media in general. You see drag racing usually where it's not usually seen, and the headlines make the girls make the headlines. Sure. And it brings
not
eyeballs
because they're
to the
girls,
spot.
because they're tough competitors and they
Correct.
beat everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're boy, girl, whatever. They are tough, and I'll tell you what. I pulled up in the lane next to Shirley Muldowney and Lori Johns and Shelley Anderson and Kim LaHaye and Melanie Troxel. I've raced a lot of them, and I'll tell you what. You better be ready to race, because they'll whip you, because you can't pull up there and think, oh, I'm racing a girl. Nah, guess what? They are tough competitors.
Yeah. And it also brings attention to the sport, and that's always a good thing. Yeah. In any circumstance. And this weekend it was a huge indicator of that, because you've seen all over the place Leah Pritchett, Alexis DeJoria, especially when Alexis has not won since last year, the first race at Las Vegas. So it's been about a year and change since Alexis has won. And of course, as you mentioned, Doug, she had to take a couple of races off during the middle of the season to take care of some family issues. Leah Pritchett is really kind of the belle of the ball right now, running national record speed, or in national record ET, and also winning the race. It's not never a bad thing when that happens. Whether you're a girl or a guy, you set a record national ET and also win the race. Boy, that's
you're tough. You're a tough competitor. And like we were just talking about, Alexis DeJoria missed a couple races. This win actually vaulted her into the top 10. Didn't really secure the spot in the countdown, but you're in a lot better spot you are in being in 10th place than you are in 12th or 13th. Even if it's only a couple rounds out, I'd rather be the one being chased than being the one chasing and out of the countdown. I'm sure there's some pretty highly sponsored cars that are not in the top 10. And let me tell you, when you go to your sponsor and say, well, thanks for giving me those millions of dollars to go racing. We're sorry that we're racing these last few races with basically, nothing. We don't have any chance of winning a championship. That's a tough conversation to have with a multi-million-dollar sponsor. You know, these sponsors on the Top Fuel and Funny Cars are in the neighborhood of $2 to $5 million.
Right.
You know, I don't think that's a big mystery. Right. So these companies are spending a lot of money. They want you to be in contention for the championship, or at least, you know, in the countdown to have a chance, a shot.
Yeah. And one of those guys that has a shot and is a contender because he is locked into the countdown to the championship, the second quickest competitor in NHRA history, Clay Millican, will join us next.
I'm Steve Letarte, STP auto expert and former crew chief. I know what it takes to keep engines performing at their best. STP's latest breakthrough additive, STP Ultra 5-in-1 plus Fuel System Cleaner plus Fuel Stabilizer, delivers 3 times the amount of cleaning agents versus premium gasoline and helps keep fuel fresh during storage. For over 60 years, STP has been on the cutting edge developing products to help engines run better, longer.
One bottle contains 3 times by weight the amount of cleaning agents compared to 20 gallons of the leading premium gasoline.
Has the summer heat taken a toll on your vehicle's battery? Count on O'Reilly Auto Parts for the Superstart battery that's right for your vehicle. For a limited time, purchase a Superstart Premium, Extreme, or Platinum battery and get up to a $15 O'Reilly gift card by mail. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
On September 9th, it's not the dark you'll be afraid of. It's the unmitigated chaos known as Richmond Raceway, the home of NASCAR and the Commonwealth. Don't miss the intensity of the final race of NASCAR's 2017 regular season with the Federated Auto Parts 400. The first regular season champion will be crowned during the Who's Your Driver race weekend. For tickets, visit richmondraceway.com. Richmond Raceway, where there's chaos at every corner, and the night action never ends.
Welcome back to The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Here's more with Marty Hough and Doug Herbert.
Hey, next week on the Motor Racing Network is STP week as we head into Darlington on the NASCAR side. Help keep stored fuel fresh with STP Ultra 5-in-1 Plus Fuel System Cleaner plus Fuel Stabilizer. And my guess is you can probably get some of that at Parts Plus and probably get a haircut at Great Clips and get a lot of stuff from Clay Millican, the second fastest driver in NHRA competition. Clay, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, I tell you what, I always enjoy coming on this show. You guys make it a lot of fun, and I tell you what, we didn't get the full job done this past weekend in Brainerd, but everybody knew we were there.
Yeah, boy.
I'll tell you what, Lowy T in the first round and the second round, and looked like you were on your way to a heck of a good run in the semifinal. It's hard. I mean, the car in the other lane, obviously, Leah was running well, but I think you might have had her beat.
Well, it's crazy. We've been working on that setup, and when I say we, I'm trying to take some of Grubby's credit because he, for all year long, he's been working on this combination. That we've been testing it a little bit here and there on Saturdays once we were qualified, and this week it really showed great promise. And on Saturday, I think the third qualifying session, we might have been 400ths quicker than the second best car out there. And then the final qualifying session, we were on another one of those runs, and it nicked the piston a little bit, which set off the pan pressure switch. That's a mouthful. And, it shut the car off. And so I didn't know what Grubby would do, come Sunday, but the conditions were actually better, and he left it in there. And go out there in first round, and I knew when I got past the 330, this thing is on a mission. We were low ET in the first round by 300 or 400s, and second quickest run of all time. Behind Leah's 64 that she ran on Friday night, and it warms up, and dang if he doesn't leave it alone, and we do it again. Another 65, and it's just one of those things with race cars, and you people that are listening, you know this. I mean, we were set up pretty close to try to run that same kind of number. And me and Leah were basically identical off the starting line, and she put a heck of a run down, but we broke a crankshaft. And it still went 379, which used to be a huge number at 260 miles an hour.
And you're coasting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, you've got an anchor out. You're dragging the crankshaft down the track.
Yes. it's just crazy right now, that these cars are going that quick, but the industry is starting to find those weak spots. And I mean, we all see this, and so, you're starting to run these things that hard, you will start to find parts that break sooner than they should. But man, I am excited about going into Indy with that combination that he has figured out. And Grubby is just amazing. He is a smart guy.
Yeah.
Well, Clay, you really went on that Western swing with a lot of momentum. Winning at Bristol, and now finishing up here at Brainerd, but going into Indy with what arguably is maybe the best car that was on the property. I think on Sunday that'd be hard for anybody to argue with. You've got to feel pretty good about going into Indy with Grubnick and with the experience that you have now with the with the way the car's running.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, if talking about the Western swing, we had arguably the car to beat at Denver, and second round I lost to Liam. What did we do? We broke a crankshaft, and this is kind of industry wide. It's not just our car, and it is 100% not tune-up related, because the bearings in this thing look brand new. But we're not the only car doing it. A lot of cars are doing it right now. But we also went to a bunch of rounds on the Western swing. I can't really remember. I remember Denver because we were running so good. No, actually Sonoma, we kind of worked on this new combination of Grubbies a little bit, and we stumbled just a touch there. But, definitely went to Brainerd, and that combination that he's working on looked really, really good. Now, that's one racetrack and one couple of runs there, actually 3 runs that were just magnificent, and there's no reason for us not to go into Indy running that. I mean, you got 2 races for one there. You got the Traxxas Shootout, which pays big money. We're locked into that deal, and then obviously, the U.S. Nationals. So I am definitely liking our chances.
When Grubby ran that, I believe it was a 67 in the on Friday. He was asked what he thought of that, and he said, "Well, it's an anomaly until we can back it up, until we can do it again." Well, obviously, you did do it again, and it's not an anomaly. So, at this point, is that the way you want to go heading into the countdown, or is you still kind of treading lightly with it?
No, it is definitely the way we're going. If you look back, with this team, which this is the 3rd year of this Doug Stringer-owned team, we started really running pretty good. We ran our first 60 last year also at Brainerd. And, we're a small team, and we have to protect our parts. Well, now it's the time of year where you've got to start really pushing. And so we did this last year. We ran our first 60 at Brainerd last year. We went into Indy last year. We set the track record, qualified number 1. And, we didn't make a lot of noise in the countdown, but now is the time of year where you got to start pushing. The championship is definitely coming up, and it is time to start pushing. And the combination he's been working on is definitely what we will be going into the countdown with. That's why we've done all these engine changes and different things on Saturdays to kind of test in real race conditions. And the majority of the time we've taken it back out and ran what we normally run on race day. Well, we did not do that this past week because it's go time. It's go time, and also the big go time. So,
yeah,
we want to win Indy, and the countdown is definitely, we got our sights set on doing really well in the countdown.
Clay, you and I talk pretty often, and you're always running around the country. Tell us about the past week or so and the different things that you do for Parts Plus and for Great Clips and associating with Doug Stringer and your team and the different things that you guys do to keep that race car funded and keep it on the road.
Well, it has definitely been very, very busy. We are also sponsored through Parts Plus by a company called Denso. And a lot of people there, they've never heard of Denso. Denso is one of the largest parts manufacturers in the world. And I promise you, if you raise the hood on your car, there is a Denso part under there somewhere. And we have been doing, they call it the road show. So we've been taking, the dragster and going to various plants all over the country. This past week I was in Middle Tennessee, which, home state for me, but I mean, we went to one plant that has 4,000 employees.
Wow.
And one thing that's really, really cool for me and Doug and actually everybody that's involved with brakes, Denso got involved with brakes this year. And so we've had a brakes display at all these events, talking about team safety, which is awesome. And, and actually it's just been phenomenal, going to so many different places with Denso. I've been to Michigan, to 3 different locations in Michigan. I've been to Arkansas, like I said, a couple different places in Tennessee. It's been busy, but it's good. I mean, that's one way to not only promote, Parts Plus and Great Clips and Denso, but also brakes in front of a lot of parents that have teenage drivers. And it's been a lot of fun. A lot of travel, but a lot of fun.
Well, and one thing some of our listeners know, you and I are buddies. We're coming to Memphis. We're coming to Memphis International Raceway, September 9th and 10th weekend. Folks can go to our website, putonthebrakes.org, to learn more about that. Clay has also been out a lot of the schools around the Memphis, Millington area and talking to those guys and helping us getting the word out there. I guess can't tell you how much appreciate that. And we're looking forward to seeing you in Memphis here in a couple weeks with brakes.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. I mean, that's going to be a fun weekend. Last year was our first year. We had a full house, and we're going to do it again this year. I'm actually, as we speak, had just left Cross Point Baptist Church. I'm speaking there tonight at 6:30 in front of a very large crowd of parents. Tomorrow I will be at Tipton Rosemark Academy in the morning, and then I will leave there and I'll go to Brighton High School. And all of this is talking about brakes. I mean, it's just such a good program, Doug, and I know it's like we're doing a commercial for you, but this is not about me. It's not about Doug. It's about keeping a teenager safe. I mean, it is 100% the coolest thing that I do, helping, other parents, take care of their kids. And we just need to get every one of these things filled up. And that's my goal. And that's what I'm out doing today.
Well, you've been doing an awesome job. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it and how much your being my friend means to me and to Mimi and everybody else. So thank you, buddy. We're excited. Great job over at Brainerd last weekend, and good luck coming up at Indy. I'm sure I'll be talking to you before, but you know what? Tell Grubnick, don't back it off. Keep putting new crankshafts in that thing every run. We need to change crankshaft manufacturers, maybe. I don't know, but we can't have any more broken cranks. We need another Wally.
I know it. We are ready for Wallies, and man, how cool would it be to get one at the U.S. Nationals? But I mean, we want to get that done. But man, the goal is to run ourselves up that points during that countdown and win a bunch of Wallies during that countdown. Thank you guys for letting me come on.
Clay Millican, driver of the Great Clips UNOH Parts Plus dragster for Stringer Performance. And when we return, we will talk to the 2016 Funny Car Champion, Ron Capps.
O'Reilly.
When your battery goes dead, everything can come to a stop. Don't take a chance on getting stranded. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get your battery tested free of charge. If your battery does need to be replaced, O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact Superstart battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Online and on the air, MRN is live from the track on MRN.com and the MRN app. Check out all MRN race broadcasts, pole qualifying and practices, plus exclusive motorsports programming live on your computer or mobile device. Or go to MRN.com to find your local radio station's online stream. Don't miss a second of NASCAR racing action. Listen live online at MRN.com, the MRN app, or your local station.
Live sports are the one true reality entertainment, where a single dramatic moment can become timeless. In NASCAR, Motor Racing Network's live broadcasts elevate your senses to the sights, sounds, and struggles taking place on the racetrack.
Keselowski to the bottom of the racetrack. He tries to slide up. Newman is there. Sideways is Keselowski.
The power of radio to the imagination of the listener. Tune in to the Motor Racing Network. Visit MRN.com for an affiliate list in your local area.
It's The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now, once again, here's Doug and Marty.
Big thanks to our friend Clay Millican for joining us on The Straight Line. We're trying to get a hold of Ron Capps. He is at Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Raceway Park right now during the middle of testing. Now,
along with a lot of other teams.
Yes, most everybody. And so we're trying to get a hold of him right now, and not being able to get a hold of him. My guess is that Tobler probably is in his ear about doing something.
Well, he might be strapped in a race car right now, so we don't know if Ron comes through. We're ringing him on his cell phone, and we will have him on the air if possible. But to explain the testing in Indy, almost all of the teams, whether they're nitro, not sure if the Pro Stock guys go there. I know a lot of the motorcycle guys will go there testing, but a lot of the teams will be at Indy testing right now. The rules, the NHRA rules state that they cannot run at an NHRA national event site 7 days, or they can run anytime they want, up to 7 days before the race. So 1 week before the race, no more testing. Testing stops, they can't run. So they're going to test up till Thursday, because next Friday they're going to start running at the NHRA US Nationals. So no testing past that. The reason why that race started, or why that testing rule started, I was telling Marty during the break, years ago, I can't remember, it was 1991 or 1992, we used to do match races. A lot of the Top Fuel and Funny Car teams used to do match races around the country. So during the week or on an off weekend, we could go to a track and get paid a little bit of money to go make a couple exhibition runs. Well, Englishtown was one of the biggest places where they've ran exhibition races. So during the week, usually Wednesday night, Thursday night, we'd go to Englishtown, do an exhibition race. They'd put 30 or 40,000 people in the stands. We saw a bunch of T-shirts, fun deal. Well, early 90s, Joe Amato was match racing. I believe Shirley Muldowney, when Shirley wasn't racing full-time on the NHRA circuit at that point. We're coming through. We're going to have some breaking news coming up. But anyways, the testing deal got changed because Joe Amato tested on Wednesday and then went out there and clobbered everybody that weekend. He had the track all dialed in, never, basically was camped out at the track for a week and had it dialed in. So NHRA decided, the competitors whined, and NHRA changed the rules. No testing, it's got to be at least a week prior to the event. And sooner than a week to the event, no testing was allowed. That was the rule. Joe Amato rule.
The Joe Amato rule. We're going to take a quick break on the straight line. We'll be back in a second.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Motor Racing Network has always been your source for motorsports coverage when you couldn't be at the track. Now, never miss another minute of our breathtaking coverage with the MRN app, available on your iPhone or Android device. This free app delivers all the latest news, locates nearby MRN stations, streams your favorite programs, and is your home for live cup practice and qualifying action. Search MRN in the App Store or on Google Play. It's the Motor Racing Network at your fingertips, and it's available for free right now.
I'm Steve Post, co-host of MRN's Wing Nation. Join Aaron Evernham and me every Tuesday at noon Eastern on MRN.com and on the MRN app. And join Ashley Strummy and me on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. Eastern on MAV TV. We talk to the biggest names in sprint cars and give you the latest news and race results from dirt tracks around the country. MRN's Wing Nation on MRN.com, the MRN app, and MAV TV.
You're listening to The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now, back to Marty Hough and Doug Herbert.
Appreciate you being with us here on The Straight Line. Coming up to Indy Week, and a lot of announcements are made during the U.S. Nationals or leading up to the U.S. Nationals. One of them yesterday, Doug, was that the Las Vegas race in the spring will be now a 4-wide event. They've been talking about this for probably a month or so. Now they make it official. Your thoughts on two?
I think it's a great event. I think that 4-wide event it's a great event here in Charlotte. It gets people from, I know a lot of my friends from Europe come in here to watch the race, the 4-wide race at ZMAX Dragway. I think if they do it out there, well, obviously they're going to, when they do it out here at Vegas, I think that they're going to get a lot of fans. A lot of those West Coast people have never seen that 4-wide racing. Right. They're going to get a lot of fans come from overseas. We got a lot of Australian drag race fans. They're going to come to Vegas and go to the 4-wide race. I think it's a great thing. some of the drivers, obviously, everybody complained a little bit. The first ever 4-wide race, I went to the final round over here at ZMAX. I like the 4-wide. It's all a matter of concentration. The drivers that do well in the 4-wide races will tell you, you've got to concentrate because really the only lane that matters is the lane you're in. Forget about the other lanes. So I think it's a great thing that it shows Bruton and Speedway Motorsports investment in the sport of drag racing. I believe that that's not cheap to go there and build the drag strip like that. So for them showing that kind of commitment, I think it's great for NHRA. It's great for the sport of drag racing. Great for the people that are going to go to Vegas for the races.
Yep, and all the fans in Southern California, it's a quick trip up the 10 to Las Vegas to check that out. So we're looking forward to that. So for everybody involved in this week's event, including Craig Moore, for Doug, I'm Marty. We will talk to you next week right here on The Straight Line.
You've been listening to The Straight Line, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. The Straight Line is the show for drag racing fans and was brought to you by Hercules Tires. Tune in again next Thursday on MRN.com and the MRN app. The Straight Line is also available on demand in MRN.com's Media Center, on our Facebook page, on YouTube, and in iTunes or the Google Play Store. The Straight Line is a production of the Motor Racing Network.